Happy DocMas residents, and welcome to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the doctor himself.
Hello.
This year, like every year, we release an episode every day leading up to Christmas. 12 days of DocMas.
12 days, 12 drinks, 1 day of recording. It is currently, if you're listening to this on time, Christmas Eve.
Oh my God.
If you aren't listening to this on time, you can always reserve the right to just download all 12 episodes, avoid your family on Christmas Day, and just listen to the episodes instead.
Or have like a Christmas in July scenario.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Could do that.
DocMas in May.
Yeah. Whatever you feel like.
Yeah.
If there even is a world by then.
I thought you were going to say if there even is a May.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. That's essentially the same thing. So.
We've made it. How do you feel?
I can't believe how okay I am right now.
I know.
It's kind of unbelievable, I'll be honest.
Well, it's a wonder what. It's a wonder
I'm
what.
not okay. My wife says I'm not okay. I'm compared to last year? Yeah.
I mean, last year was.
I don't remember this episode last year.
Last year was, dare I say it, marriage ending.
Yeah.
And we've somehow weathered that storm.
We've had
we've come out wiser on the other side.
I won't say that we didn't have a conversation about that coming up to this. Some rules were set.
That is very reasonable.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I can't argue that at all.
If you want. Yeah. I think I've told most of it already on this.
Is this on?
Yeah.
Okay, but not from my perspective.
Well, no.
So, night of DocMas recording, my mother,
I did tell him this.
who's in town, and she flies out the next day.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It's 11 o'clock at night, and she finds Richard in his red underwear, his red boxer briefs, wrapped around the toilet, passed out.
Yeah, it was a bad night.
Yeah.
And then ensued 4 days of him in bed crying like a baby.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just because Richard is a little bitch.
Son of a bitch. I've got all my faculties now, you son of a bitch.
Belligerent Richard's back.
Yeah.
Baby.
Yes. So
we've been drinking.
We're coherent.
But we're regular people. We're coherent. We're having a conversation.
I was able to walk up and down the stairs without wobbling.
We've been doing flights of stairs.
Yeah.
We've been eating lots as we go.
Yeah.
And also the fact that we're drinking tomato and clam
has been, I think,
helpful.
Keeping our vitamins up.
Yeah.
All the research, it all came together.
Yeah, all the years of research. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the last two have really just been. It's been like preparation for this one. Yeah.
We're finally there.
Yeah.
We've mastered it.
Yeah. We just had a couple of sort of pilot projects, and this is really the one.
So welcome to the new DocMas.
Yeah, DocMas Light.
Welcome to what we would call a listenable DocMas.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's still our content, so.
As listenable as anything else we do.
Yeah, I would say, yeah. I would say alongside, on par with everything else.
Yeah,
for sure.
Certainly not better.
No. So, oh God, no. There is no better. There is a reading assignment that you had given me.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I was just mildly distracted by
the two children that we have in the room.
By backseat driving.
Yes.
Yes, we did I did give you a reading assignment, just like last year. Last year we did Batman Noel, the sort of Batman version of A Christmas Carol. Yeah. This year I gave you what I will admit,
good God,
I remembered being less dark than it was.
Jesus,
I gave you the Lobo paramilitary Christmas special to read.
I was not, considering what last year was, I was really not expecting this.
Well, yeah, last year was such like a nice story, very Christmassy, and this one is exceedingly different from that.
I also have never read anything that is Lobo
at all.
Never.
All right. Well, then this was a weird way to drop you in.
So I really wasn't expecting this. There were some elements that I was like, oh, I know that I've heard you say things from this
Sure. Yeah.
before. So I like understood some of the sort of like tropes.
You like the vague sort of pieces of it.
Yeah, like a lot of the phrases and things like
why
that.
Why don't we go through it? Here.
So yes, what year was this?
This would be 90s, early 90s, I think. 92, 93 maybe.
It's the most 90s thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I like the animation style, the character itself.
Yeah.
The fact it kind of looks like Lenny Kravitz.
Well, yeah, I guess a little bit, yeah. Well, he's one mean bastard.
Oh, yeah, that was the thing that came up a lot.
This fragging bastard.
The art style kind of reminds me of the Dead Man books a lot, which is really just an element of the 90s, I think.
Yeah, that's sort of very rough, scratchy, a lot of sharp lines.
Deteriorating, sort of like paint splattery kind of look.
Yeah, definitely.
Very weird sort of style that like is very roughly drawn.
Very grotesque kind of style. Like I mean that in
sloppy
like
too.
The actual like literal meaning of the word grotesque, not necessarily horrifying, but just like not beautiful.
Yeah, no, sloppy. I would say a lot of it is really pretty sloppy. Yes. So, but yeah, a lot of grotesque. So you're introduced to this gross couple on Christmas evening that are just like shut up, like
they're like abusive to each other, pretty horrible.
No, they're worse than us, sweetheart. Don't worry.
But basically, this man, he's been fired like 2 days before Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're trying to figure out what they're going to do for Christmas. They've got family coming.
Well, no, they just have kids.
Yeah, they've got kids.
But the thing about this is you could feel the fear in them.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, the kids will be disappointed. It's like, what the fuck are the kids going to do to us if we can't figure out Christmas?
Yeah.
They're like afraid, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's playing off that idea of like quote unquote untitled children, or like, you know, the idea of like that Christmas has been perverted into like a consumer sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So they end up grabbing guns.
Yeah, they're going to kill their kids.
And they go upstairs, and just before they go into the room, they find a book.
Yeah, someone drops a book off at their front door.
Yeah.
At first, they think the kids are out flanking them by going to the front door. But then, they find this book and they open it. And then we read the story, basically.
Yes. Which, this specific one looks so much like Lenny Kravitz. America Christmas!
Lobo me.
Yeah. So this we get introduced Lobo at a bar.
Lobo and his pet dog, DAWG.
Yes.
Yeah, dog.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's the most 90s thing ever.
Yeah. Lobo and dog.
Yes, and he's got like a half crop top, like jean jacket cut off sleeve thing.
Yeah.
And he's basically someone had hired him, so he's showing up, and you see it's a fucking rabbit in a suit, and you're like, what the fuck is this rabbit? And it's the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, and
the Easter Bunny wants to hire Lobo to kill Santa Claus.
Yeah, because Christmas has become too big. It's horning in on the other holidays.
Yeah,
and basically the Easter Bunny says that he represents sort of multiple holidays that are sort of pitched in to pay for Lobo's services.
Yeah, because Lobo's basically going, you know how to find me, so you know what I cost.
Yeah.
Like, can you afford it? And so he's like, all right, I'll get rid of him. That's not a problem at all. So he gets out on the most obnoxious motorcycle I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so funny. And you find out that Santa Claus is actually basically this like dictator who, besides doing this one thing every year as Christmas, is basically this monster.
Yeah, they say that Christmas is like a PR move to keep like it's one big charity thing each year that sort of keeps people from ignoring. They set up the idea that the elves are just regular people who are so malnourished
and emaciated
by Santa that they are diminutive in stature. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. They basically, it's like a sweatshop, And Santa is this like tyrannical sort of warlord kind of.
And for somebody who's never read Lobo, and based on everything else you've ever given me, was a little bit taken back when he immediately blasts these two elves in the face.
Yeah, he just snipes them.
Yeah.
He doesn't even walk up and say, name's Lobo.
No.
He just snipes them.
Literally just snipes them, shows up, puts a bomb on the gate, blows the gate open,
Yep.
and then comes inside. Alarms go off inside the toy store, which I love. Inside the toys is like a little Batman's being made.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really funny. He goes in and basically just tears through.
I like that the one elf says like the naughtiest one has come or something like that. That's kind of funny to me. But yeah, he goes in and all the elves sort of surround him and they're like, we got you surrounded. And he's like, oh, you stupid fuckers.
Yeah,
and he cold murders all of them.
Just like literally tears through them.
Yeah, like he's shooting and it's ripping limbs.
Well, also
and heads off.
They also shot him with those like cork guns. Like
they shoot him with they're like toy guns, basically, which is.
Once I saw that, I was like, oh.
I mean, it's A, funny, but B, also a little bit of a sign that this Santa doesn't give a shit about them.
Yeah. He literally like shooting their heads and bodies off. Like
Dog is ripping a few of them apart and crushing their heads and stuff like. He actually bites the head off an elf, I think.
Yeah.
Dog does.
Some really grotesque imagery.
And it's pretty graphic.
Yeah, I'd say.
Sorry.
Yeah, fucking dog. Yeah, it literally like eats one. And then there's like basically a pile of them at the end, and he's walking away going like cha cha cha.
Yeah.
As he's singing Christmas carols to himself.
Yeah, and he's like changing the lyrics a little bit to be like Lobo related.
Yes.
Yeah.
So fucking 90s. And then he eventually is looking around for Santa Claus, who's basically like do your homework, like, and he's like my name's Chris, and like
yeah well they even say earlier that is like he goes by Chris Crusher Kringle. Like world knows him as Santa Claus, but he's the Crusher.
Yes,
but yeah, like Lobo comes in and basically has his gun drawn and says, like game's over, and Santa says like, oh, you gonna pussy out and just shoot me, or you want to fight like a man? It's essentially what Santa says.
There's also
here.
Randomly a giant gorilla behind him, which never really becomes part of it.
He has a gorilla sidekick named Kong.
Doesn't become a
Santa
part of it,
does,
literally at all. It's just a thing.
Yeah. But Lobo agrees to like a more manly duel. So Santa gets to pick the weapon.
Yeah, so he just chooses like basically like these, I don't know what those blades are
like
called.
Machetes?
Yeah, kind of like machetes. And Lobo's like, yeah, that's totally fine. Like I'm very comfortable with the blade. That's not an issue at all. And then proceeds to just beat the shit out of Santa. Because a part of me is like, all right, Santa's going to be a badass here.
Yeah, you think Santa's going to put up more of a fight. Santa fights tough. Like, even as he's getting the shit kicked out of him, he's still talking trash. But, like, his eyeball comes out. He gets, like, slashed a bunch.
But Lobo chops his fucking head
ultimately,
off.
Just cuts his head off,
Just insane. And then proceeds to just start looking through his place, finds the naughty and nice list, and is just like, why do you even have that? Oh, maybe it's like to like prey on future victims and like.
Well, Lobo decides in this moment, Lobo now has control of Santa's factory.
Yeah.
And he decides that the nice list are just, they're victims waiting to be victims. The naughty list are potential future rivals for Lobo. So Lobo decides to take the naughty list and treat it as a massive hit list.
Yes. And then once tries to convince Rudolph to go with him.
Yeah. Rudolph won't.
So he just fucking gets rid of Rudolph.
Puts him down.
Yeah. And then gets all the other reindeer to take him and to go in the sled.
Yeah.
Which he then proceeds to drop bombs on all of the. Is it the naughty list?
Yeah, on the naughty list.
Because he doesn't want any competition.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
This is and then we go back to that couple from the beginning.
So we zoom out and they're like, wow. I think the idea is that they're thinking this is a story that will scare our kids into submission.
Yeah. And at the end of the book, it goes, by the way, you can only read this book once. And then the book disappears.
Yeah.
And
they don't get to show it to their kids.
They're like, well, I guess we can't do it. And they just kill their children.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. The ending I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's just like Silent Night. Bam. Bam. Yeah.
Fucked up.
So, what did you think?
I liked part of it. Is Lobo supposed to be like, it's funny how bad it is, or
It's supposed to be a pastiche of like hyper violence, right?
Okay.
Like he was meant to be basically like a parody of something like Wolverine.
Okay, then it's funny, and I liked it. I wanted to make sure it was supposed to be funny.
It is meant to be parody, yes.
Because it's like ridiculous.
Yeah. I will say I didn't remember the bookend piece of this story. And I think if you didn't have that bookend piece, I would like this a lot more.
I think that's what made me like it more.
Well, I mean, there was a part of me that was like, oh, that's how it ended?
Because
like, I kind of forgot. I forgot.
Oh, they fully commit to this, and like I kind of liked that because I'm like, oh, they didn't pull a punch.
Well, I mean, yes, there's something commendable about that, but I think in general, the thing that's enjoyable about this is just like the ridiculousness of the Easter Bunny hiring Lobo to kill Santa.
Yeah.
And if you just did that story, I think it doesn't.
It doesn't need the bookends.
It weathers time a little bit better than that bookend piece that is like. Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be there, but I'm glad that if it was going to be there, it ended that way. Because I'm like, for me at least, they didn't pull a punch.
Yeah,
it wasn't about like the meaning of Christmas. It was just like Lobo's a badass. This book's showing fucked up shit,
right?
And it's like showing hyperviolence and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Well, there you go. Would you recommend that story?
My wife is so unimpressed. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I think it's fun. It's stupid, but it's fun.
Out of 5?
4.5.
4.5. Wow, you actually did like.
Yeah. It was fun. It was a good time.
It wasn't what you were ready for. But.
No, I wasn't in the mindset for it, but I was also like, this is crazy. But it also like, there's a lot of fun stuff in it.
Sure.
And now that I know like that, it wasn't trying. It's not trying to be like, look at this cool thing.
Yeah, it's deliberate parody.
Then I like it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
Well, sweet.
Yeah.
Should we move on to the second segment?
Oh, I don't know. Nah, I'm just fucking with her. Yes, we can get to the presents.
As per every 12th episode of DocMas.
Yes.
This is when we exchange
the
traditional DocMas gifts.
Well, I'm sorry, was this an Italian thing?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, what is that?
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Babbity booby.
Yeah, spezzatino. Oh, I wish.
I do love spezzatino.
So, before we do that, before giving our gifts, we've got gifts from Josh Gill.
Gil.
So...
You lovely son of a bitch.
These are from Josh Gill. I had to repack them, so they aren't done very well.
Okay. Oh, I see. Are these for both of us?
No, I already got mine. I'll show you mine after. Opa. One's for Maggie.
My God.
Or I think, no, Maggie's is still coming. Sorry, those two are yours. Maggie's is still coming.
Gil. You lovely son of a bitch. All right. Here's what we got here. We've got Star Trek and the Legion of Superheroes trade, which is amazing and awesome. And I'm going to have to bring this home with me over, back to Ontario to show my dad.
Yeah.
'Cause he's going to love that. And then also, this is the Batman Red Rain pop figure, the vampire Batman.
Yeah.
Gil, you beautiful
So-and-so.
bastard.
I'll show you what he got me. Jesus Christ. This is what
Wow.
Josh got me. Tim Sale's Black and White.
Hey, that's awesome. That looks amazing.
Tim
Nice.
Sale, my absolute favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, you love Tim Sale.
Huge fan of this. Really looking for this. Revised and expanded with new color selection and sketchbook.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Very, very excited.
Gil, thank you.
You sweet son of a bitch. So, now we can do the...
I'm a little disappointed it wasn't nudes.
Wow, it's the one I'm showing you. That's
the Patreon, baby.
all right. Let's do this.
All right, let's do it. Let's hand them over. Here you go. Here you go. I will fully confess that as much as I want to take full credit for yours, I didn't actually find it. I owe credit to Mrs. DC for finding what I consider to be the most specific and obscure gift that could be found.
Wow. And I will say that this present to you was chosen by Jessica.
It's like the gift of the Magi if the Magi didn't give a shit. Yeah, our wives got these for each.
This is how much my wife cares about you.
Are we doing this at the same time, or
Yeah,
should
yeah,
I
yeah.
let
No, let's
you
do
go
it
first?
at the same
or-
time.
Okay.
It's fun that way.
Opening the gift. This is an audio medium. Here we go. Open it up. Tear the paper, but not that.
Oh my god. Oh, what the fuck? Oh my god. It's a fucking Gnort doll.
It's a Gnort action figure.
Holy
Full credit to
shit.
Mrs. DC for that one.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Look at that derpy son of a bitch.
Oh my god. I'm so happy.
I'm also very happy. You see?
I see.
This is the DC Comics Encyclopedia, the definitive guide to the characters of the DC universe. Oh my.
It's very good. I've looked through
Thank
it.
you. That's awesome.
It's a fucking rad book.
Look how detailed this all is. Oh, so much.
Now I feel lame.
No, this is amazing.
That's awesome.
Fucking so rad. Oh my god.
Thank you, Jess.
You're welcome.
Say thank you to my wife.
I remade contact and said thank you, but of course, thank you, Brenda.
Love you.
Love you. But this is a regular episode.
It is. Fuck. God damn it. We could have ended on such a high.
But first, we've got a voicemail.
Okay.
Hey, Producer Richard. Hey, Dr. DC. So this is my 12th and final Diodoc for DocMas. Their name is Decree. They can make up a rule that everyone has to follow by shouting loudly, "I do decree," followed by whatever the rule is. Whenever they make a new rule, the old one's gone. It's abolished. Doesn't matter anymore. But anyone who breaks these rules while they're still active are magically sent to a dungeon, more of just like a holding area than a torture area, until a new rule is made and they are released. And when they release, they just go back to wherever they were, whatever they were doing, like in media res. And the rules could be anything from no one can drive a car to everyone has to be nice to me. Anyway, that's Decree, and that is 12 Diodocs for DocMas. Hope you guys survived. Bye.
It reminds me.
I
Of,
love that.
It reminds me of Kings, the card game.
Oh, yeah. It is basically like that. Yeah, that's right.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I like that.
That's awesome.
Dial Doc.
Yes.
Based on Dial H.
Yep.
You type hero into the Magic H dial. You gain the personality and powers of a never before seen hero or villain. We do this every episode. We come up with a brand new hero or villain.
Oh,
Do you have one?
I do.
To cap off 2019.
I do.
Okay.
My character's name is Electrolife.
Ooh, based on nothing.
Yeah, who has the ability to control the electrolytes in people's body and either magnify them to electrocute them or to control their body and make them move.
Right. Okay. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. I think I have one.
Okay.
It's called Booty Clap.
Jesus. Wow, what a way to end.
What Booty Clap can do is they can basically teleport to anywhere, Wizard of Oz style. They have to click their special boots together.
Oh,
So they clap their boots together
Jesus
and
Christ.
say where they want to go, and they go there.
wow, you really sent me for an adventure there. I went all the way around the
Not
world.
what you thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
You thought it
no.
would be something dirty. but
Yeah,
no.
it is not dirty.
It was wholesome as hell. Booty
Yeah.
clap, wholesome as hell.
Yeah. Wow, I can't believe we did it.
I know. In, I would say, record time
Yeah.
and record sobriety.
Yeah. I feel better than I ever have.
I almost feel like we didn't do this right.
I
feel like we fucked it up
Considering
because we're fine.
The amount of fear I've had going into this, like the amount of I've been feeling. I did not feel good the last 2 days.
Yeah.
I felt sick this morning.
I was nervous. Yeah. I do a little bit feel like we fucked this up, but just by not being messes at the end of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't feel like a complete wreck.
Yeah. I am proud of us.
We gamed the system.
We did. We gamed this. Yeah, next year we're going to have to up from alcohol to like heroin.
Snort a cocaine every
12
episode.
heroines one day.
On the first heroin, I became addicted. That's not good.
And you really heard me hit the floor.
Yeah. Next day, Shorty got low.
She did have those apple bottom jeans.
Yep, boots with those furs. That's it.
Thank you all for being great fans and great listeners. If you just joined us for DocMas, what a wild ride you were in for.
Also, this is your first episode.
Listen to some regular episodes.
Yeah.
They're A, usually longer. B, we go more in depth on things. C, if you're only listening to this one, we usually answer listener questions.
That's true.
There's a lot of things you're missing if you're only listening to this episode.
That's right.
But thank you for listening. Thank you for having listened. We will be back in 2019.
That's right.
Our first episode, I think, comes out
2020.
2020. Oh my God, yeah. Oh,
I was like, wait a minute.
that's right. The decade is over.
Yeah.
We'll be back in 2020. And I think our first new regular episode comes out on like January 8th, whatever that Wednesday is that week. And yeah, that'll be when we're back.
So if you want to give your own dial doc,
That's right.
Use the hashtag dial doc and reach out to us on our various social media platforms, such as our Facebook,
Dr. DC Podcast,
Twitter,
at Dr. DC,
Instagram,
Dr. DC Podcast,
email,
drdcpodcast@gmail.com,
Reddit,
r/Dr_DC.
and of course the doc phone is now open.
208-917-3238.
It's 208-917-DCEU. Not only can you talk to us online, but you can also read our articles or view our many wares.
View our many wares. That was
Yes.
French. Never mind.
View our many wares.
View our many wares.
You still can't get out of it. Yeah.
No, I'm in it.
That's
where I live.
No, they won't.
No, they won't.
On our website,
drdcpodcast.com or .ca.
buy our merch.
Buy our merch.
And of course, give us.
Are you a
5-star
terrorist? Don't buy our merch.
Give
But
us
if you're not a terrorist,
5-star review on iTunes. Also, we are doing little mini episodes, video episodes on Patreon every single day during DocMas,
right.
as well as on top of our regular 4 extra episodes a month.
Yep.
All you have to do is pay $5 at patreon.com/
Dr. DC. It's $5 a month.
Yeah, and you get some extra Dr. DC. Some of it's
Great
DC,
value.
some of it's not DC. So, only one way to find out. And if you want to see what we look like today, as well as what we're drinking, and get some extra questions answered, then you got to subscribe. So, do that, and we will see you in the new year.
Adios.
Ciao, 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 ciao.
Ciao, 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 ciao.
Ciao, 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 ciao.
All the superheroes, they always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.